Hey everyone, let's have a quick September wrap-up. We had some awesome discussions this month. We talked about challenging books that we started but had to put aside because they were too much for us or because we were just not in the right mindset. And it was very interesting to see which books you have started and put aside. Thank you very much for sharing. And also thank you very much for ranting with me. It was very interesting to see how frustrated some of you were as well about the same things that I were frustrated about, and also sharing our frustrations kind of helped. I don't know why that is, but sometimes you just need to rant and vent all your anger to feel better. So thank you for ranting with me. Also, thank you for talking about travel companions and sharing what you look forward in a travel companion and what you really cannot stand. Super interesting. And thank you as well also for your nice comments on my letter to September. And that already brings us to the books I read in September, or rather finished in September or started in September. Let's just have a look. I finally finished listening to the essay collection Love and Other Ways of Dying by Michael Paternity. And I started this in the beginning of the year, and in the beginning I really loved the way it was narrated, the way he told the stories, and he really sucked you into the stories and what was happening, and he always addresses you as you, his second voice narration. And by the end of the essays, I was just annoyed by it. I couldn't stand it anymore, and it was just too much. So I think one of those essays every now and again is okay, but when you listen to the whole collection, it was just too much and it took forever. And I'm really, really glad I'm finished. The narration was very well done for the audiobook, but I couldn't care for any of it anymore at the end. I also listened to Martin Short's memoirs, I Must Say, and that surprised me really much because I didn't know a lot about Martin Short. Here in Germany, we just know him from a few films. We don't know a lot about his career. So I was very surprised about how big a career he had, how many things he had done, what he's still doing, and also about his life and his friends and his marriage. And I was very surprised to hear about that, and it was very enlightening, I think. It was very nice to hear of someone who's actually in the business and seems to have a circle of friends that you actually want to have and a marriage that you want to have. So I can recommend this audiobook to anyone who ever heard of Martin Short or just wants to read a book about someone who's dealing with normal life things despite being in the movie business. The last audiobook I finished was The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin, and unfortunately I didn't really like this one that much. I couldn't get really interested into any of it. I couldn't really relate to the characters and couldn't get away into the characters. I found it rather predictable and I found it lacking in information. I had too many questions that were not really answered. And I have a full review up of this one so that you can hear my thoughts, but for me, it just didn't work, and I don't think I'm going to continue with the series. In ebook form, I did one of the 21-day challenges this month, the one about self-confidence, and I didn't really like it that much because it didn't help me in the way that I expected it to be. But the book itself, the way it's built up and designed, and the challenges it gives you are not bad. It's a very interesting concept, and I really like the idea. I just noticed that I don't lack enough self-confidence to be able to use this book particularly. But if you really think you need something to build your self-confidence, this might be a good try, and it's easy, it's very simple, and it's short. So if you don't like it, you just can skip it and put it aside. Also on ebook, I read The Sorcerer of the Wild Deeps by Kaya Shanti Wilson, which I love. The book was very difficult for me in the beginning. I couldn't get into the writing style, I couldn't get into the vocabulary, so after about 40 pages, I started again. I restarted reading at the beginning, and then it all made so much more sense. I understood more, and I really got into it, and by the end of the book, I loved the characters, I loved the story, I loved everything about it. And it was an amazing read that all of you have to read. You just go and read it. There's also a full review up for this one. And the only physical book I read in September and technically finished in October but will count is Here I Am by Jonathan Safran Foer, which took me a long time because it's a big book, it's complicated, it takes a lot of effort and thinking, and I wasn't always in the right mindset, and it didn't grab me like I expected to. I have a full review up, but generally said, I do like this book. I like the way it talks about identity and communication and who we are, how we talk to others, and what it says about us, and all the things that we are dealing with. And I really think this book will benefit from a reread to really see how good it is. And that was my September. Tell me in comments how your September was. If you had a good reading month, a bad reading month, everything else, let's just talk about it. I'm actually quite happy that September is over because October already is working much better for me than September did. Thank you all for watching and have a great month. Bye bye.